In this video, traders, I'm going to explore why do we revenge trade. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Alright, so I'm going to open my hands up here, or hold my hands up should I say, and say revenge trading is one of the things I've got to be so careful of. I have to have been careful of for decades, well not decades, plural, but whatever it is, 18 years now. I know that it's something that really kind of gets me, and I kind of have analysed this many times before, and I always revisit this as well, because I always, we're not infallible. Once we've kind of identified something, we've put hacks in place to deal with it. We're never infallible. And for me, revenge trading is something that I've got to be cautious of. And, bears the question, why do we revenge trade? By the way, if you revenge trade, stick a comment in the comment section below, give it a thumbs up to see how many revenge traders we've got out there, or people who at least want to revenge trade. So the way I think of it is this, is that revenge trade often sets up after a mistake. Like, I know if I have a series of losers, I'm like, ooh, if I break some rules, I'm like, ooh, and I start to feel a little bit like I want to not necessarily get the money back, but more like undo the error. Because if you think about back when you were a kid, you break something, don't about you, but I'm trying to push it back together and go, look, it's fine. Look, the thing pops back in there. Look, it's no problem. I fixed it. Everything's good. And we kind of have that little quality in us when we get to adults. Make a mistake, we want to fix it quickly. Let's say you scuffed your car, can you buff it out quickly? No, you can't. All right, I'm going to the paint shop. It's this kind of, if I've made an error, if it's undone, then I don't feel the pain of the error anymore. So in trading, let's say you've had a string of losers, if you trade and get that money back, so to speak, even though it's never really back, it's just another trade. If you get it back, then you can almost forget about those losers, right? You don't have to feel the pain of the losers. You trade, you lose, you like, get it back, well, I've got it back. And so even we label it as revenge trading because you're trading to get back. And therein lies the issue of how it switches dynamic. We know logically as traders we don't want to be thinking like that. We're not thinking about getting back, oh, I'm down this amount of money, if I need to get that back to be back to where I am. It just needs to be right. I need to be executing my strategy methodically, correctly, day after day after day, trade after trade after trade, month after month after month, adjusting, tweaking, adapting. But of course we do trade emotionally from time to time. We're never going to reduce it a lot. We're never going to eliminate the odd trade that breaks a rule or does something it shouldn't do, especially if we're manually trading. It's going to happen. We're humans, but we want to reduce it so it's as little damaging as little as possible. But the revenge trade aspect is, think about why we're doing it: to undo the damage, to go back to where we were before, to feel like we did before we had the losers. It's all these things, and the quicker we do it, we feel like the quicker we come back. So we might increase size, we might start looking for a trade now that's not available. So let's say you have a string of losers, well, I want to trade now, because I want to get it back. We don't think like that. So the steps we have to take, guys, is we have to be very, very logical and cautious about what we do. First of all, it's identifying the fact that, hey, I'm not feeling the same way about the markets as I was X number of trades ago, X number of days ago. I'm looking at them through a lens of getting back to where I was. And yes, revenge might be a bit of an extreme example, but getting back to a point in time. And that's ultimately what revenge is, isn't it? It's getting back. So getting back to a point in time. And so I'm looking at the markets through that lens, as opposed to looking at the markets with an objective lens, no lens on, nothing clouding my vision, just looking and saying, right, this is what's happening, these are my trade ideas, these are my trade strategies, these are my stops, this is my risk, as you would normally do during normal market conditions. And so when you start, the key here, guys, is listen, appreciate it, easier said than done. The key here is to recognize when that lens is just starting to come over your vision, because it sneaks up, you don't recognize it's there, it will come slowly, and all of a sudden you won't realize that you're looking at the markets with a perspective of trying to get your money back, trying to undo that damage, rather than looking at the markets of where can I take the most high probability trade that's got the least amount of risk possible, which is always what we're trying to achieve. And so finding that fine line recognizing any kind of physiological things that make you feel that way, recognizing any signals that put you into that beforehand. So recognizing, hey, a string of losers gets me into that mode, or a string of doing nothing gets me into that mode, or I've been off for a while, I come back to the market, I've not been able to trade because I've been doing other things. If you're a part-time trader, I come back, I want to trade. You know, that urgency, there's always going to be some catalysts that cause you to feel like that. And if you can identify those, at least then you can put some kind of circuit breakers in that stop you from doing that revenge trading. Something that says, right, you know that after this you're very vulnerable to this. I want you to take extra time and extra care looking for your trades. I want you to be very cautious about trading in this type of manner, or this type of environment, or this kind of hour, or this day, or wait, or just put something in that throttles you back. And so it says, listen, make sure that lens is lifted before we're coming back and we're trading from a point of clarity, looking at the price action or whatever setup you use and strategy you use, looking at it objectively and placing a trade accordingly, because that's how you'll win long term. All right, guys, take care. See you next one. Bye-bye.